Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie, back from the incident. It's all
dear.
fine. I told you it would all be fine.
Well, that's good
It's
to
all
hear.
fine. Good.
Nobody's been replaced. It's all cool.
Awesome.
So how are you guys?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still a ghost from Halloween.
That didn't
kind
improve?
Of a problem. No. But I mean, like, it's fine. It's not that bad. But anyway, that's what I've been doing. Is I've just sort of been floating their walls.
Been just hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're a
chilling.
ghost and not some sort of comic book mutant?
How do I tell?
Are
What's the
you
problem?
a spirit, perhaps?
That's a good question.
Anyhow, hi, I'm Joey. I'm back for real now. I'm excited to get back in the flow of it. I have been watching Zom 100, which is a show that you guys watched without me, but I decided to check it out, and it's pretty good. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen 3 episodes.
Nice. I haven't been watching anime at all.
Listen, it's fine.
I guess it's my turn.
Yep.
So, hi, it's me, Louie. I haven't watched anime either. I've been busy frolicking in sticker forests, I guess.
You've been making anime stickers.
That's true.
That's-
I've been making anime content. I just haven't been watching it.
You haven't been consuming.
But I plan on
Powerful.
changing that with today's episode.
Very nice.
I'm gonna get back to Baki pretty soon, and we'll continue.
Oh
that.
boy.
But speaking of Zom 100, after many delays, that series is apparently is going to finish.
Yes.
It is going to air, and the last set of episodes is going to air on Christmas.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a little present to the Zom 100 fans.
I don't know exactly why they started encountering so many delays, but my guess is that once they had been delayed enough, they started losing their TV airing slots, which is
Yeah.
why this is so far down the line.
Right.
Which sucks, but hey, if they can, the show, people really seem to like the show, so
It's a good show. It's
they might still be able to call it a success.
yeah. I'm glad they got around to it.
Let's see, what else do we have? Attack on Titan is
It's
going to be
over.
going to be over.
It's all.
It's
over.
killed.
We'll be free.
It's done.
We never have to think about it again. Maybe.
It's going to conclude on November the 4th, but it will reach out its dreadful hand after its death and still influence us. Because I anticipate a coming shitstorm because it's going to have a different ending than the manga.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it's already come out.
Yeah, November 4th is 3 days ago.
I don't have to answer any of your questions about this.
It's fine.
Anyway, look forward to the bullshit because I'm sure people will be pissed off about it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Also, there's a lot of interesting stuff here about the author. I did not realize that he had been living this life for 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
honestly, this is some of the realest shit I have ever heard a manga author actually say, like, on public record about their experience.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's just like, I feel extremely trapped.
Well,
I need to get the fuck out of here.
And like, I made up the ending to this fucking years ago. And I wish I could do it any other way.
good lord.
It's like, wow, that's rough, but anyway.
Yeah.
And finally, and this has already come out too, and I was going to mention that until a bunch of people roasted me for no reason.
For a reason. Anyhow,
But did you
continue.
guys know a fucking Onimusha anime just came out on the Netflix like 5 days ago?
What?
Yeah, like based on like the dead Capcom series, Onimusha.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, me neither.
It was like Resident Evil, but you're a samurai.
Oh, that does sound familiar, actually. They just it came out.
Yeah, they just made an anime out of it, and it was directed by Takashi Miike,
Wow.
and all the character designs were done by Kim Jung-gi, who was great, but is also very dead.
Very peculiar.
It's a very peculiar release.
Has anyone talked about it? Do they think it's good?
I don't know.
All right.
The character designs at least look interesting, but
We haven't seen anything ever.
Ever.
but yeah, I just thought that that combination of things
That's strange.
was extremely odd. It doesn't even follow any of the games. It's about Miyamoto
It's just its
Musashi.
own thing. All right.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty bizarre.
Yeah.
Anyway, as for actually watching anime, Louis, you said you had something for us, did you not?
Yeah, so this is something that started airing in this season of like anime or whatever. What do they call them? Cores, I think.
I still don't know what that means, but yes, that is what they call them.
It's like the seasonal 12 episodes that are like that rotate out. Anyway, it's called Undead Unluck.
Okay, yeah, that does sound familiar.
I've seen news about that.
Yeah.
I haven't read it, but I've seen it.
Well, let's check it out.
Let's find out what it is.
So, did any of y'all ever see Pushing Daisies?
Nope.
No.
It is. Yeah, I knew this was too much of a deep cut. There used to be an American sitcom where anyone who would touch this guy would die. Well, kind of.
You see,
could also revive dead people, so it's kind of different. But
you see, my lead-in was just going to be a lame Cranberries reference.
Zombie might have been a little more recognizable.
but yeah, I guess I'm going to read this blurb. I haven't done it in forever because I've been serving them up.
Yeah.
We don't need a blurb.
I will do it. You cannot stop me. After reading the conclusion to her favorite manga series, Fuuko Uzumo finally feels ready to end her existence. For the past 10 years, Fuuko has been afflicted by a condition that brings extreme misfortune to anyone who touches her. This has had a drastic effect on her surroundings, even inadvertently resulting in the deaths of those around her, including her parents. As she stands on a bridge above train tracks, Fuuko is touched by a strange man. You know, that's the most concise way they could have said that. Causing the footing underneath him to break, dropping him in front of an oncoming train. However, when Fuuko finds the man's corpse, she doesn't really find the man's corpse.
We'll get to that.
She discovers that his body is regenerating and that he is coming back to life. The man, who Fuuko names Andy, is immortal and, like her, also wishes for death.
Oh my god.
See, Blackle, there's a reason to read these. Initially dismissive, Fuuko eventually decides to team up with Andy to give him the best death possible. But a mysterious organization lurks in the shadows, hoping to take advantage of the duo's bizarre abilities. See, that was a pretty good blurb.
Yeah, because that blurb, whoever wrote that blurb did decide to like take out some very important details, which I think makes for a better blurb.
I knew some pretty funny phrasing, but
yes,
I think the blurbs are important because it is important to know what the show says about itself.
Yes, and also
I don't know who's writing these. Though is the thing. Like, is it just some random person on myanimelist.com, or is it the actual like copy?
It is usually copy that is distributed by a publisher. Now, it can be edited, and it can be sometimes it's machine translated, which makes it almost unintelligible. But yeah. But anyway, we open on. Okay, I thought the frame rate was fucked up in this scene, but they don't do it again.
No, I think it was purposeful.
But yeah, we open on two scenes actually, which is weird because they're intercut with each other. But it is a snow-covered city with a girl in a sailor uniform trudging through the snow away from a boy lying in the snow in his school uniform, and it's all very aesthetic. And there's a clock tower, like. There's a clock tower going, and she's heading towards that, and he's like, "Don't go," and she's just like, and they kiss, and it's all very romantic. And intercut with that is scenes of a plane about to take off at a regular ass airport, until something strikes one of the engines and causes an outrageous explosion.
The whole plane is gone. This plane is. They didn't make it.
The right wing engine immediately combusts and appears to set off the fuel because it's an inferno. Like, it is a ball of fire. And there was a girl, and we cut to a girl in the terminal watching this happen, shell shocked.
She's not happy.
And we cut back to the snow, and they admit their feelings for each other and kiss. And then we cut to a girl standing. It's just like, I finally finished my favorite manga. Now I can die.
Now it's time to die.
And then we also see a very brief cut of a guy drinking boba and looking over.
Yeah. So
very interesting opening. Yeah.
So she stood on the edge of a footbridge over a train yard, which, by the way, if the train isn't coming and you jump, you will live through that.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
It will just be really unpleasant. But yeah, she's decided that she's gonna end it all. And there's just a shirtless man standing behind it.
Just there.
And he's just like, "Hey, you know that's dangerous, right?" And she's like, "Oh shit, no, I have a knife." Because she's got like a chef's knife for some reason.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You stay away from me. If you touch me, you'll get an incurable disease. It'll kill you within days." And he's just like, "Oh yeah?" And he steps, and while she's threatening him, he just steps forward into the knife, and he's just like, "Oh yeah," and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I've done that.
I can't believe you're bleeding. Oh, what the hell?" And he's like, "Yeah."
He hops over the fence to the bridge and just picks her up by the mouth with like one hand. And he's just like, yeah, you're one of us, aren't you? That you said something about, because she mentioned something about her unluck.
Yes. She's like, my unluck will get you.
Just like your unluck, huh? Just like, I bet all that stuff about the disease was just to protect others, right? And he tosses her back over her shoulder onto the bridge, and she's like, "Oh no! See, I can feel it coming." It's just like, "What do you mean?" It's just like, my unluck, and then he just falls. the concrete he's standing on just breaks loose, crumbles. And he falls in front of a train.
He turns into a red splat.
He turns into jam. He's just like, "Oh no, somebody else has died because of me." I can't believe it. And then his fucking head just rockets back up there.
Yes, that's why the blurb is funny, because she does not discover that his body is regenerating. His body
rediscovers
is gone.
Her.
His body rediscovers her.
Zooms over like a I cannot emphasize enough that he just uses blood spurts like rockets.
The man's control over his own body is incredible. Wolverine wishes he could. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's really impressed, and he's like, "Wow, I bet you could do better though."
Like, you gotta do better than that to kill me.
And yeah, he just starts knitting himself back together, and every time he does this, it is so visceral.
Yeah, like you can see all the
his head just shits out a spinal column to start with.
It's really good.
It's really gross.
I love it. I'm obsessed.
But yeah, he starts regenerating, and yeah, his clothes are gone. So yeah, he's got a big this stays for like almost the whole episode. Is that he has a big like panel of static covering his Schwanstück.
Yes. Which is funny because she sees this and she's like, "Oh my god, you're a zombie," and punches him in the dick.
No, the first words out of her mouth are just no.
She's like, zombie, and punches.
Which is a great reaction to just seeing a nude man just scream no at him. But yeah, she just gives him a tap and runs.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, oh shit, you're not getting away from me like that. And he hadn't regenerated his like arms and legs, so he just uses the pressurized blood out of them to fly.
This is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It is incredible. And yeah, he catches up with her easily and just snatches her up. And some cops are coming because they've heard all the screaming, and they're just like, stop right there. And he just rockets straight up into the air and starts Spider-Manning off of buildings. Like reverse Spider-Manning. He's pushing off of them rather than pulling.
Yes.
I can't imagine what the cops thought.
And they're just like, we're not doing anything about that.
Just like, we didn't see that.
Nope, that wasn't real.
It's time. You know what? It's time for lunch break. I need to sit down.
I'm going home to see my wife. So I don't want to think about this anymore.
And I believe there's also another observer there because we get a spooky man in a suit.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just a guy in a suit.
There's just a guy there.
He's just like, it looks like he's taking her to, he's going to take her to his hideout. Who knows why. But we'll catch up with him as per protocol. And the both of them end up on top of a building. The show does not linger, by the way.
No, it goes and it goes.
It moves.
It goes.
So yeah, they're on top of a building, and she's just like, "This is so fucked up. Why are you naked? Oh god." He's just like, fucking sick. I bet. I bet you could finally kill me.
He's like, you know how long I've been trying to die?
You know how long I've been alive? Oh yeah, and we should mention his like appearance. Is it like this man is completely shredded?
Yes.
He's got like white hair.
We got new white-haired anime boy.
He's not your typical white-haired anime. He's a white-haired anime man, clearly.
Yes.
But,
first ever white-haired anime man invented. No,
it's him
Scar was the first.
It's him and Sephiroth, but
no, Scar counts.
You can't call Sephiroth a boy because he's always got his tits out.
That's
true. But anyway, and he has tattoos, which he does regenerate whenever he regenerates.
Yes,
and he also has a big piece of metal sticking out of the left side of his forehead.
Yes, that will become plot relevant.
But yeah, she's like, I don't care, let me the fuck go, Jesus. And he's just like, are you sure? Like, we're really high up. And she's just like, you know what? I plan to die today anyway. You don't scare me. And his response to this is incredible because he just starts winding up for a giant's throw, like it's pro wrestling.
He's like spinning her around, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be sick. Please, I give up."
He's gonna do a double dragon finisher on her.
She's like, "No, I'll tell you everything."
He's gonna throw her into the screen like it's fucking Battletoads. And she's just like, fine, put me down. And he does, and he's just like, all right, so spill it. What's the deal? And she gives her backstory, which is when she was like 10 years ago, when she was a small child, she realized that anybody she touches suffers from terrible, like injurious luck, and she eventually put it together that she's the one who caused her parents' deaths because she hugged them before they got on that plane, which is very sad.
Yeah.
and importantly, she gave them little kisses on the cheeks. The story is interrupted by the fact that he has snuck up behind her and just given her the full like bear hug grope. He's just like,
Yeah,
it's
I
skin
can't
on skin.
abide by that.
It's just like, it's skin on skin contact, right? This should definitely kill me. And she's just like, why are you? She's like, stop touching me like that. What the fuck is wrong with you? And he's just like, listen, bitch, I need to die right now. And he gets fucking obliterated by a crate of
box of bananas
falling from a 747.
Yeah.
Which he deserved that one for sure.
Yeah.
Incredible comedy, though. Like just somebody being crushed by a falling crate of bananas. And then what happens immediately afterwards? Because she takes the opportunity to fucking make a break for it. And she's like trying to get to the little door that leads back inside the building, and she slips on a fucking banana.
She goes over the edge.
And goes over the edge. And while she's doing that, you just see him just like burst out from inside the crate with like his arms and legs sticking out.
He looks like Donkey Kong.
He is a Donkey Kong. This is Donkey Kongcore, but he's just like, oh come on, that won't fucking do it. He's just like, hey, wait a second, where are you? And as she's falling, she realizes, just like, I don't want to die. I didn't get to do anything in my life.
This is how it ends, huh?
I didn't get to experience fashion or have a relationship or just even do anything girly.
Yeah.
It's quite sad, really.
And she loses hold of her manga. She's like, no, not like this.
My manga.
My glasses.
My glass, not my glasses. But guess who retrieves it? Because the big nude immortal man isn't letting her get away.
Yeah.
He does. He saves her, and he even saves her manga by turning one of his legs into just a spike.
Yes,
pretty bad into the building.
I liked it.
I'm just like, would that work? Maybe. The pain must be indescribable.
He's been through too much at this point.
I mean, it's Wolverine problem, right?
Yes, it is like Wolverine core.
I find this, come to think of it, I find this character a little more believable than Logan because he appears to be incurably insane.
Yes.
Which is probably what would result from this kind of lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, I'm going to take you back to my hideout to find out what the deal is, because that wasn't nearly strong enough and you've been lying to me. They're just, then we cut to the next scene and he apparently is just living in like an abandoned factory or something.
I mean, where else do you live if you're this guy?
Wherever you want.
I mean, fair. It's fair.
Aside from some of the downsides, I would appreciate this gift far more than this man. But by this point, I would also be Space Emperor. So, he's just like, all right. So the next thing we're gonna have to test is like prolonged skin-to-skin contact. Take off your clothes. So she just books it again, because of course she does.
Because he's being a weirdo.
Now, granted, from this character, I don't get that much actual perversion, but that doesn't actually make it any better.
That doesn't stop it from like being uncomfortable for her, so it's still
being extremely unpleasant. He's trying to. She immediately books it, and he goes to just chase her down. He's just like, oh, come on, come back. You know, you won't have to deal with me once I'm fucking dead. And in the process of chasing her down, she loses track of her hat and her jacket because it snags on some rebar, and all of her hair comes spiraling out because her hair is like 7 feet long.
Because she could never get it cut.
Yeah, because she's just like, oh god, you've seen it all. I could never go to the barber because I just fucking die.
Yeah.
I can't get a cut. I look like this, and she's really upset
Mhm.
about it. So it's time to have our only humanizing moment for this
Mhm.
man, because he's just like, hang on a second, and he just gets out like a kit. It's just like, I'm gonna cut your hair. And it's just like, but you'll be hit by bad luck, and it's like, so
He's like,
fucking
yeah,
what?
that's kind of the point.
Just like, it won't hit me until I let go of you.
hmm
So let me trim this up. She's like, were you a stylist? And he's just like, yeah. Hey, dude." Which is like great world building for this like huge psychopath that
Yeah.
he used to cut people's fucking
Well,
hair.
from the sounds of it, he like
Yeah.
he's been alive for so long that he's just tried out a little bit of everything.
He's probably done
Probably, yeah.
a
Yeah.
little bit of everything. But yeah, he gives her a nice
Mhm.
haircut. He gives her like
It's
a
cute.
bob, and he's just like, and she's too frightened to look at it for a second, and he's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. He's like, I did pretty good for not having done this in a while. And she's actually really pleased
Mhm.
with it. And he's just like, she's like, thank you so much. And he just lets go, and he stands up and he smiles, and he says, finally, I was in contact with you for like 15 minutes. This should definitely do it, right? And then his head comes off,
Yep.
just cleanly decapitated. And hey, it's the guy from earlier who had a sword, by
Yes.
the way. I don't know why he had a sword.
Yeah,
It's never explained.
he's just one of these kinds of
He just needs the
freaks.
sword to be cool.
God, it makes me makes me think about that fucking episode of the Venture Brothers where the guy tries to kill Brock, and he's just like, why do you sword guys always have to talk about your sword?
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just take his head right off, and just like, well, shit, that won't kill him. But no, this guy has brought himself and a bunch of members of the fucking Foot Clan from the Ninja Turtles, except they're wearing suits.
Yes. And they have captured his head in like a little capsule, like
in
a
a
Pokeball.
Pokeball.
Yes.
It's just like, he won't be able to regenerate in that thing. And it's just like, are you fucking sure? Are you fucking sure that thing isn't a meat bomb? Can you imagine the pressure building up inside of it right now?
He's been
Scary.
That's gonna be horrific. That's gonna be like the thing.
I mean, we've been seeing the pressure of his leg.
This man can fly
His legs, yes.
using his blood pressure.
You guys better make sure that that's secure.
This is a bad plan.
Well, it does seem to work for them for a minute, though. So,
But it works for them for the moment. And she's just like, oh man. It's just like, you guys saved me. And they're just like, saved you? And she's like, well, aren't you on my side? Oh, no, we're not on your side. We exist to police and capture people's strange abilities that might threaten the stability of society and shit. It's just like,
We work with Shinzo Abe.
yeah, they work for they
We work
used
for
to work.
Shinzo Abe.
They used to work for Shinzo Abe until the incident. But
Yeah.
but it's like, and you'd be pretty useful, right? Like only skin to skin contact does it, so we can control you easily, but we could also use it to kill.
yeah.
And she's like, oh no, not really. This shit. Oh, shit's just getting worse for Foucault.
Yeah, it's not great.
But while they're having this conversation, which is pretty threatening, this guy's like a freak. He's got like a big, he's got like a bad guy scar,
like all the way across his eye. It's like zombie stitches, not like you know what I mean.
But while they're having this conversation, the goon that was holding the and they handcuff her. And the goon that was holding Undead Andy's orb just stands stock still and gets hit by a lightning bolt. And they're just like, wait, that couldn't have been her, right? The conditions couldn't have been met. And she's just like, no, I think you're wrong, because you guys cut his head off. That wasn't like luck or anything.
Right.
And yeah, both the goon and him fall into a hole, and his head just comes up out of the hole.
Here he is.
here he comes, and
I
they're just
respawned.
like, okay, guys, and clearly this shit is. I like the sequence of this shit falling apart for a shadowy government / corporate man who's just like, okay, don't panic. Listen, he can regenerate, but he's an amateur at combat. You guys should be able to take him. Just bullets won't be effective, so just cut the fuck out of him with your big knives. And he's just like, oh, what you think I'm an amateur, huh? Well, maybe just recently, but I've got like 100 years of memory that I keep stopped up with this piece of metal.
Yeah, then he takes the little piece of metal out of his head because it's a power limiter, I guess, sort of thing.
It's a very interesting point. I don't think that would actually work.
No, I don't think
but
it would.
You would develop like a heretofore unseen kind of mental illness if you lived over a couple of centuries just by not having enough space in your brain for memory.
Right.
Because it takes up physical space.
Yes.
Yeah.
It requires individual neurons. So yeah, we have a fight scene. They're completely hosed. Of course they are. This man is immortal. And it doesn't appear to feel pain anymore. Like you're fine. So he soundly thrashes them. In a very well animated scene. He does a lot more of that flash regeneration
it's stylish
shit. Until it's just him and the lead bad guy. And the lead bad guy has his sword out and he's just like, well, you put me in a weird situation here. So cut off your own head and come over here, or I'm gonna kill her. I'm just gonna cut her head off because I have her, right? And he's just like, yeah, Naruhodo, I see. Well, and then he just goes to cut his own head off.
This scene is probably the scene that I thought was the funniest because he just starts slicing at his neck.
Yeah, he's got a big.
He
picked up a big knife during the fight, and he's just like, I see. I did like when he was also juggling it with his blood, because he had a little prick in the end of his finger, and he was just shooting blood at it like a fountain to keep it in the air. But he's just like, okay, and he just cuts his own head off.
He does that.
Yeah,
it made me laugh.
And while he's doing that, she's like, I can't, even you, I can't stand for more people to get hurt because of me. So just run. And whenever it cuts back to him, his head is fully off and just sitting in his hand. And he's like, what? She's like, why don't you listen to me? And he goes to throw his own head to the other guy because he's just that kind of guy. And he's just like, hey, if we see each other again, let's party, huh? And she gets a plan because she's just like, all right, fine. And she kicks out from underneath this guy's sword while he's distracted by the flying head,
as you would be.
And she jumps up and kisses him on the cheek because she was holding something back. She never told him that she kissed her parents on the cheek. And he catches the head and he's just like, wait, what did you do? And she's just like, oh, nothing. I just thought it would be nice. and Andy gets it first and he's just like, I don't know how I'm talking with no lungs.
Yeah. She's like, but get out of here. And she starts running.
Because he gets it and he's just like, hey, you probably ought to run. And she does because she's brought down the house on them, and we see a meteorite coming down.
It's very funny.
And the guy gets it at the last second, and he's just like, I see.
Dies.
I assume that guy was incinerated. He may come back later.
We'll see, I suppose.
I mean, we've already got precedent for that.
Yeah, for sure.
And in the tail end of the episode, she's hanging out by a fountain that was outside this place, and she's just like, oh, zombie guy. Just like, you were actually pretty cool, I guess.
Even though you're a fucking freak and you groped me and you.
And I mean, I hope you got your wish, I guess. And he just comes out of the ruins with a sword stuck through him.
And giving a big thumbs up.
And he's missing a bunch of teeth, and he's just like, "Wow, I never got hit in the face by a meteorite before." And she's actually happy to see him because, well, he's her only human contact, like ever.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the episode. There is a slight, like, it's not even after the credits. It's just like after a weird black spot.
Yeah.
Which I thought was odd, but yeah, they're talking about it, and it's just like, what's your name? It's just like, well, I'm Fuuko. It's just like, what's your name? It was like, well, Undead is good enough, right? I don't remember my name. She's just like, I'll call you Andy. You know, Undead.
Yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't
it
really
worked better.
Disgusting.
This ain't gonna fly in English. And it's a pretty heartwarming ending. And then he's just like, so next we gotta fuck.
I was like, God damn it.
And then it cuts to a song that I've been listening to nonstop for like the last 3 weeks.
It was pretty bopping.
I did not listen to it because I usually don't.
Yeah, I listened to
Destroyed.
I listened to the credits and then watched the little end clip because there's a preview.
I simply do not find the anime music to be that compelling. Not that it's
understandable.
bad.
It's not for you.
Me. But anyway, this show. What have we got to say about it? I have to get this notion out because it's been haunting me. Which is, I watched this whole thing and then immediately went to look up the studio because I was just like, why does this remind me of a Studio Trigger?
No.
Why does this remind me of a Studio Trigger? And I'm just like, the energy is that, and I look and it's just like, nobody from there had anything to do with this. In fact, it's fucking David Productions, the JoJo people.
Which is weird.
It's like, what the hell is going
on? But yeah, for me, the extreme levels of like turbo violence as a form of humor is like kind of one of my favorite things ever. So this show is very for me. Even with the
did you like One Punch Man?
I haven't finished it. I because I was trying to watch it at work one time, and I only got through a couple of episodes. I don't remember why I didn't finish that one.
I'm just thinking of that time. Saitama defeated the mosquito woman by slapping her. And it just turned her into fucking red mist all over the side of a building.
Yeah, that would probably also be my sense of humor, but yeah. The only things that like, and I don't know if you could write this particular episode without it, but like him being all weird occasionally, but like I don't
like that. Yeah,
it's too. I think it's too forward with that.
Yeah,
but that also seems to be like a cultural.
Yeah,
thing.
and
it seems to.
I refuse to believe that.
It seems to happen a lot. Well, it seems to happen a lot in anime and almost nowhere else.
I feel like Japan has a problem, and they need to solve it at some point. Thing like
I'm almost willing to like almost forgive it in this particular case. Like I don't know. It's not good, but
but everything around it is
yes.
Pretty good.
The art was pretty boppin'. Well animated.
Yeah, this is really well animated. The most of the comedy beats.
Yeah.
Voice acting seems to be great.
Got some. I do enjoy the character designs.
I would enjoy them more if Andy did not look exactly like the same muscular white-haired anime guy that I saw in fucking Seven Deadly Sins or whatever the fuck that is, down to having the same power. Oh. Now he's a better character.
I don't know anything about that one
because that show is dog shit. But he feels
If it's dog shit, how did it get like 6 seasons? Hold on.
Hey, I have some unpleasant things to explain to you about the nature of anime production. But
I'm listening.
Yeah. Do you guys think you would watch more of this?
I
Yes.
100% am watching more of this. Like, I want to watch more of it now.
No way.
Not gonna lie, like, I can't explain how how JoJo core this particular show is. I don't know.
I don't think I'll be able to fit it into my schedule, even though, which is not going to be a market like against it. It seems
Sure.
It seems all right, and from episode 2 on, it might even be like a good like shonen anime. But
what I was gonna say about the fan service, and that just reminded me, or quote unquote.
I don't even think it was that fan servicey.
I think they had a quota that they had to hit for certain jokes, especially because first chapters of the manga tend to make or break it.
Right, and also like that feels like a kind of happens in first episodes a lot.
That's interesting. It makes me wonder. Now that's starting to make me wonder if like people who do like editing for comics like push for that kind of content, which would be miserable.
Oh God, yeah. We're gonna talk about this character that seems to be just like an eyeball in the character list.
I have no knowledge of characters from Tatiana, huh?
Yeah. Who the hell knows?
Lord.
Anyhow, well, at least a couple of us will be watching and reporting back, so.
All right. Anyway, if you'd like to speculate on the nature of off-color jokes in manga with us, you can do so at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one the word, not the number. You can, if you interact with us, you will catch the unlock. So, I mean, proceed with caution, but we are also on Twitter at oneepisodecast and Blue Sky. Same name.
When I remember to
when you gotta keep up the Blue Sky. Do people use Blue Sky? I don't know. We have it. Check it out.
Knows?
I logged back into the podcast Blue Sky on this computer, but I straight up forgot my personal
Oh no, you
one.
forgot.
I don't know how to get in.
Gotta do
anymore.
that. Click the reset password button.
We'll see if that works.
Hopefully it does. You can regenerate.
But you know, it's a weird thing about this like off-color horn dog shit. Yeah. I'm just thinking about is that it felt almost 90s because that used to be a thing they did a lot.
That's true. Yeah.
Or in that sort of wacky.
Yeah,
way.
Kinda.
Unlike the I would say even slightly more disgusting like harem anime where it's just like, oh no, I fell over and I touched your tits and
yeah, no, I do prefer this
comedy moment. It's just like no, not
it's like, oh, you touched the boob, now you're gonna have a box dropped on your head. That's funny. I don't know.
I think the punchline for this actually works significantly better because I
kind of agree.
Watching a harem protagonist fall onto some girl and grope her, and she slaps him or sometimes even throws him out a window or some shit. That is weak shit.
It's kind of lame.
And it is unpleasant. Seeing a man crushed into red jelly by a falling banana box, however,
it's great.
does kind of soften the blow, doesn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Like this is, it's hitting for me.